Hello, I am starting my third live. It always takes a minute, I think, to actually connect for some reason. So I am just going to click away some of these boxes that just came up and we will get started. Okay, so welcome. We are back for the third Wind Down Wednesdays episode. So what are y'all drinking with me tonight? I chose a nice, clean, light, semi-dry Sauvignon Blanc to wind down with tonight. So let me know what you're sipping on. So tonight we're going to be talking about paradigms. And paradigms is something that helps to lessen some of our anxiety, fear, and overwhelm. And I'm going to share just a few. I have, I don't even know, countless paradigms over the last few years that I've kind of enveloped into my own thinking, but I'm just going to share a few of the ones that I've really been able to integrate into my thinking these past couple of years. So as a refresher, I'm sure you're all familiar with the word paradigm. It's simply an underlying philosophy or a principle that makes you either feel like the creator of your life or the victim of it. And it's not an absolute truth, but it is a useful guideline that helps us unlock a way of thinking, and it expands our view and our perspective, which ultimately expands our possibility. And this is what I'm always trying to do as a life coach and as a human being, just expand possibilities for people so that they're able to create different choices for themselves. So even as I begin each one of my coaching sessions, I remind myself I'm never fixing or healing my clients. You guys, we're not broken, right? No matter how much we might be suffering, we're not broken. So healing is an inside job. Someone makes an internal decision to change, and then they usually come to me because they don't know how to change, or they can't make the change in a new way that lasts for them. So for all of us, when we're in the mindset of fixing and healing, something to just be mindful of is that's not about helping the other person. It's actually, when we're fixing and healing, that's about fulfilling our own need, not the other person's. So as a life coach, I constantly ground myself in that I'm not a fixer, I'm not a healer, I am a vision holder. And I love that because as a coach, I work with my clients, I see right now the future version of them that they want to become, their desired state in the future that they want to be. And I hold that space for them. I hold an unwavering belief that they're completely powerful and capable of achieving that future self. So hopefully some of these paradigms will start to shift your own thinking from maybe having no choices to actually creating choices for yourself and for your future. So let's explore 5 paradigms that I'd like to offer for you to just think about. Let them marinate for a little bit. So go ahead, everybody, take a sip. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. And let's get started. Hello, Terry. Hello, Danny, drinking a beer. I love you, my baby. So let's get into these 5 paradigms. Paradigm number 1. Nothing changes in the world or anyone else until you change. Transformation starts with you. And this is a biggie. If you can change how you think, then you can change how you feel, and then change how you experience the outside world. And the actions that you take, ultimately, you're able to change the results you have in your life. I love this one. It's so incredibly empowering. Let that sink in. Nothing changes in the world or anyone else until you change. Your thoughts create the emotion, drives the action, ultimately gives you the results in your life. And it's all internal in your mind. Paradigm number 2. Every moment, feeling, and experience is perfectly orchestrated for your evolution. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. This is a tough one, I know, because we may not always like what happens to us. But what I'm asking for you to just consider the perspective that no matter how you feel about an experience, life probably did something right to help you evolve. And the reason I say this is a tough one is because some of us have experienced some really horrific, terrible things in our life. For a personal share, because you know me, I'm transparent and I'm here to coach you as well as I'm coaching myself every day. Personal share is I had an incredibly painful miscarriage while my sister was pregnant, and so was my best friend at the same time. Our due dates were days apart, and I ended up with paralyzing anxiety. I ended up in my 30s having anxiety attacks, and I never had them before. I don't really like to think that happened for me. It sure as hell felt like it happened to me. But when I felt like it happened to me, I felt like a victim. And you guys, when I feel like a victim, I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't feel too empowering. So through my own work, I was able to take the view that this is happening for me. I got the gift of opening up to a new and different way of thinking about the experience. It doesn't take away from the fact that it was traumatic, but now I get to think about it in a new and different way that actually softens my body. It feels better in my body. And it opens up to me to new possibilities. So as soon as new possibilities open up, now we find new choices about how we get to choose to respond or react to different experiences that we've been through. And the truth is, you guys, that life's wisdom comes through the ups, of course, but most of the time, it comes even more powerfully through the downs. In the school of being a human being, if you will, pain is our teacher, and we're here to learn. At least that's what I think. So here's another truth that you may want to keep in mind. When people decide that there's something that they want, that they don't currently have, that desire is going to take you in a different direction, where you're probably going to encounter some problems, some fears, some tough times and challenges. And you may have, most likely, have already experienced this in your life at least once. You feel called in a certain direction, and then you encounter all kinds of obstacles along the way. But you triumph over those obstacles. Sometimes you triumph over them. It's part of the process of getting what we want. The problem is that a lot of times people see these challenges and fears and difficulties as a reason to quit. And they just walk away from it thinking, it wasn't meant to be. Or it's just not going to work out. And they sort of fold internally when there's a challenge. When the truth is, that challenge is existing because it's meant to build our muscle. And that muscle is building our resilience. So the way we get stronger is pushing against something, right? So keep at your goal, keep trying. Don't fold after you've given it a chance once, twice, 3, 4 times, and it doesn't work. That's your muscle growing. That's your muscle being built on resiliency. So it's important to do that because you need to have that capacity to deal and to move through discomfort and challenges and adversity. So they're going to come. I mean, that's just normal. That's just a way of life. There's no such life where everything is just win, 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 right? No life is all rosy all the time. And it's just not what life is. It's half suck and half ecstasy. That's kind of how life is. So when something doesn't go your way, maybe you can ask yourself, what is the learning available from this experience, this pain, this trauma? What am I supposed to learn from? What am I supposed to take away from? That was a big one. Paradigm number 3. We're more than halfway through. There's never a downside to taking responsibility for your own experience. Oh, never? I don't know if I love that one, right? But the thing about this one is it does put you back in the driver's seat of your life. And I think about my miscarriage again. Am I responsible for causing that in myself? No. Of course not. Did I willingly sign up to go through that traumatic experience? Mm-mm. However, it happened. So how am I going to react? And one of my mentors calls it working with life on life's terms. It happened. You can't change the past. It happened. But what you can control back in the driver's seat is, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions of how you're going to deal with it. So what I do as a coach is really to have people open up to the possibilities and the responsibility of taking control of their own experiences and how they go through their experiences. And when we can take responsibility for our own experiences, that is liberating. I'm helping people and I'm helping myself to access that feeling of freedom instead of feeling stuck in a stuck state, because that, like I mentioned before, that just sucks. It just sucks being stuck. So it doesn't mean that I'm saying that an experience is okay or that I'm condoning it or that I'm happy about it, but I can take responsibility for my experience of it. Beautiful. Number 4, we're almost there, kids. Number 4, paradigm 4, desire is not selfish. It's a wise compass pointing you in the direction of your life's purpose. This can be a complex one for most of us to come to terms with. And the main point here is we've been taught through society that our desires will lead us astray, particularly for us women. God forbid us chicks desire money, or we desire sex, or we desire food. Desires are potentially reckless. We shouldn't want anything. So we have been taught to feel guilty about having desires. We've got to convince ourselves, like through the lens of society, we're just supposed to convince ourselves that, we're just fine. We didn't really want to have that thing. We don't really need anything. And sometimes it's like we think about maybe it's going to be hard for somebody else in our life if we do actually get the thing that we desire. So we push it away. But what I want to suggest here, guys, is to come from a place that the opposite is true. And that the desire is actually your wise higher inner self, your wise oracle within, whatever you want to call it. But that desire could be escorting you to your highest potential, to your highest good. And you could look back in your life at things you desired and moving forward with. Some of them worked out. Some of them maybe didn't work out so well. But you probably learned one of the greatest lessons of your life because of them, if you reflect back. So with this paradigm, I'm just simply inviting you to trust in the wisdom of your desires. Take a look at them. Think about them. Don't shun them away. You deserve to have desires just as much as anybody else. And this brings us to our final paradigm that I'd like to talk about, which is your challenges are your greatest gift. And I know that can be hard to believe, especially when the challenges are really big, hairy, nasty challenges. And I remember because I've had a lot of big challenges as well. I'm human, just like you guys. And I remember specifically when I told one of my coaches, I was crying to her. And I was just like, why are things so hard for me in certain ways? And you know what she said to me? She goes, well, Cariel, a big life is going to have some big struggles. A big life is going to have some big struggles. Whoa! So instead of judging yourself for where you struggle, be curious. Consider that your struggle could very well be your greatest teacher. It could actually be your greatest portal to transformation if you're willing to do some work. So perhaps, it's also the greatest learning that you can share with other people. I mean, obviously, like you've heard me on the lives a couple times, and just knowing me, I'm very open and honest, and I talk about fear. I talk about feelings of unworthiness, major trauma that's happened in my life, and difficulties in relationships that I have in my life. I've had a lot of challenges, and I share them as teaching for myself as well as for others. So I'm getting a PhD in this thing called life. And these are the opportunities for transformation. So just like tonight, for example, I know we're almost at time because I want to keep it behind 15 minutes, but I just wanted to share, like tonight, I was struggling again. I couldn't get the hardwire connection to my laptop, and I was like, ugh. And I'm complaining to Danny, and I'm like, I'm frustrated. And then I'm like, but here's a challenge. Here's a way for me to think differently about it and understand that this is just an obstacle that is building my resilience, and that is making me take a look at like what it is that I really want. And what it is that I really want, you guys, in my life every day. I just want to uplift at least one person. I just want to lift somebody up. I just want one person a day to feel a little bit more empowered and able to feel like they're in control of their life instead of a victim of their circumstances. So with that, let's take another sip. Let's take another big, deep, cleansing breath in your nose and out your mouth. Let it go. And before you go, I'd love to see some comments. Let me know, like, which paradigm you loved, and maybe which paradigm you're not loving so much. Let me know if anything landed for you. And with that, kids, cheers, badasses. Keep living on purpose, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.